Speak to you on the subject of your heart's desires. You know, desires are a good thing to have when they're done properly. For instance, if a man desires a woman, that's a good thing because, ladies, you want a man to desire you as long as you are his wife and you're not somebody else's wife. When that becomes wrong, then we have issues. Food is a wonderful thing to desire until it becomes your desire each and every moment that you live. Then it becomes unhealthy and problems come about. And so you and I have desires, and this morning we're going to look at how King David, in his latter part of life, wrote about some of his desires and some of the issues he had. Psalms 37 is a psalm that David wrote later in life, and basically the whole conclusion of Psalms 37 is, God, why does the wicked prosper, while the righteous seem to always face adversity? And really the psalm can be broken down into four sections. It's first of all counsel for the soul, would be like verses 1 through 10. Then we look at basically the destination of the wicked, the future of the righteous, and of course just some closing remarks. And so we're going to look at Psalms 37 this morning. We're going to look at the entire psalm. So turn with me to Psalms 37 verse 1. It says, "Do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord, and do good. Dwell in the land, and feed on His faithfulness. Delight yourself also in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass. He shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for Him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who brings wicked schemes to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret, it only causes harm. For evildoers shall be cut off. For those who wait on the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall be no more. Indeed, you will look carefully for his place, but it shall be no more. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plots against the just, and gnashes at him with his teeth. The Lord laughs at him, for He sees that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn the sword, and have bent their bow, to cast down the poor and the needy, to slay those who are upright conduct. But the sword shall enter their own, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man has is better than the riches of a wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. The Lord knows the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord, like the splendor of the meadows, shall vanish. Into smoke they shall vanish away. The wicked borrows and does not repay, but the righteous shows mercy and gives. For those blessed by Him shall inherit the earth, for those cursed by Him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in his way. Though he may fall down, he be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with His hand. It says, I have been old, young, and now I'm old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging for bread. He is ever merciful, lends, and his descendants are blessed. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loves justice and does not forsake His saints. They are preserved forever, but the descendants of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell in it forever. The mouth of the righteous speaks wisdom, and his tongue talks of justice. The law of God is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. The wicked watches the righteous and seeks to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, you will see it. I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a native green tree. Yet he passed away, and behold, he was no more. Indeed, I sought him, but I could not find him. Mark the blameless man, and observe the upright. For the future of that man is peace. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The future of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is from the Lord. He is their strength in time of trouble, and the Lord shall help them and deliver them, and he shall deliver the wicked from the wicked and save them, because they trust in him. I know that's a lot, and we're going to move fast this morning to look at this psalm. What we need to know this morning is that desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. There's nothing wrong for you and I to have desires. God created the human being to have desires. But when we have the wrong desires or the wrong motives of our desires, then we have problems. And what we're seeing in the older life of King David is that he is writing a psalm, he's speaking his heart, and he's saying, God, why is it that the wicked prosper? And I'm sure you've had that question in your mind as well. Why is it that I can watch this person never get caught doing wrong? Why is it I watch them get away with murder? Why is it I watch them, they always seem to be dishonest, yet they're getting financial gain, and yet I'm trying to love the Lord, and I get nothing? Have you ever thought that way? Well, the psalmist thought that way, and through the Holy Spirit, he begins to tell us what will come about. So let's do it in two sections. I'm going to look at the wicked first. Let's look at what the wicked gets. First of all, he tells us in verses 1 and 2 is, don't be envious of the wicked, because their day is coming. And so often, you and I do that. He says, do not fret because of the evildoers, nor be envious of the workers of iniquity. David in his psalm says, listen, I know that you look out and you see how the nation of Israel is struggling. You see how we're no longer possessing our land. And yet you're seeing how the wicked is overcoming and they're overtaking things. And it seems like there's no end. And King David in his wisdom says, don't be envious of the wicked. Because what you don't understand is that their day is coming. Believe it or not, that old saying, every dog has its day. Every dog has its day, whether it's a good day or a bad day. And what you need to understand, although somebody is being dishonest in their gain, although somebody is doing so wickedly and they're not getting caught, my friend, don't worry. Their day is coming. And you need to know that. You may be this person right now that you're on the wicked lifestyle, that you're doing evil things and you think you're getting away with it. You need to understand that your day is coming. He says, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and withers as the green herb. He's saying, listen, for you who are doing wicked and you think you're getting away with it, you're not. God sees you. God knows what's going on, and your day is coming. So first of all, for those who are living the right life, don't be envious of the wicked. And second, don't worry about the evil people who are prospering. He says, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Do not fret or do not worry because of him who prospers in his way. We've got to learn not to be so worried because it doesn't seem right, Pastor. I work hard and I'm an honest person, and yet I have very little to get by, and yet I see this person, they lie, they cheat, they steal, and they seem to get away with everything. King David knew your heart, and he said, don't worry about that. You do not need to be worried, because here's what's happening. You see somebody getting away with murder, and in your mind you say, well, they're getting away with this. I've got to figure out how I can do that and get away with it. After all, they seem to have a better home. They seem to have more finances than I do. And so I've got to figure out how can I gain more finances to keep up with Mr. Jones, keeping up with the Joneses. because I want my kids and I want my family to have just as much. But what you don't understand, in the lifestyle that you live, if you are gaining financially through wicked ways, your day is going to come. And so you as a father, you as a mother, you as a financial provider of your home, you don't need to be worrying about trying to keep up with the Jones, trying to do it dishonestly, because the wicked will have their day. And that brings us to point number 3, is you don't need to get mad about it either. A lot of us get mad because it's not right, it's not fair that the wicked seem to get away with it and we don't. And King David says, cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret, do not worry, it only causes harm. When we get mad because somebody else is getting financially blessed through a wicked way, it only burns a desire in our heart to do the same thing, which will ultimately cause destruction in our life and our family's life and everybody around us. Now hear my heart, there's nothing wrong with having finances, and there's nothing wrong with having financial gain. But if your whole motive and desire is for financial gain, if your whole motive and desire is for to be popular and famous, you'll get your day. But there comes a result from your day. Does anybody know how long eternity is? You know how long eternity is. How long is it? It's forever. So you have to make the choice. Do I live life in sin? For the average human lives 72.5 years old today. I can live 72.5 years in sin and then spend all of eternity in hell, or I can be righteous and live for the Lord and struggle a little bit for 72.5 years and then live in the highest of heights for all of eternity. Now, for you young people, you won't understand this because, I'm sorry, you're too young. And in any part of your middle-aged adult pastor's life, I don't quite understand this. But for you senior adults, you understand this quite clear. There were things that you thought were so right and so prevalent in your younger years that you had to do and had to have, and now that you've gotten older, you realize, boy, that was a big mistake and I don't need that. We don't. And the psalmist is trying to tell us, don't get mad about it, because your anger will only lead you to do things that you'll regret for the rest of your life. And not only does he does that, he goes on to tell us that the wicked are going to be destroyed. Notice that King David tells us twice that the wicked are going to be destroyed. Now, why do you think he tells us twice? Because he wants to make sure you understand, if you're living in sin, you will be destroyed. You're not going to have the exception to the rule. You're not going to get away with it. And he wants the rest of us who live a righteous and godly life, don't worry, they will get their day. For evildoers will be cut off. Once again, he's going to let us know that we're going to be cut off. He tells us twice they're going to be cut off, and twice he tells us that their day is coming. The Lord laughs at him. Why? For he sees that his day is coming. Now, some of you can relate to this. Some of you have lived long enough that you've watched somebody live that wicked, ungodly life, and you said, they're going to get their day. And you've watched them get their day. We've all done it. I mean, we've all thought we were getting away with murder when we're not. We can't. Our day is coming. Yes, we've all been jealous of what somebody else's has. We've all had that moment of envy that we wanted what somebody else's has, but really, what's it going to cost you to get it? What is it going to cost you to get it? God knows our hearts. God knows the desires of our hearts, and He wants you and I to know this morning that if you are plotting and planning a untruthful, ungodly, unholy life to gain financial status and financial wealth, your day will come. No doubt. Point number 6 is that the wicked will die. And in verse 20, for the third time, he reminds us that the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord, like the splendor of the meadows, shall vanish. It's wintertime, although it's still kind of summertime. I mean, there was a brief moment when my grass turned brown, but it's green again. But typically, in the wintertime, you know the grass turns brown. The leaves fall off the trees. David's saying that's exactly the way the wicked is going to be. Their life's just going